frankly too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents.
His comments quick to receive backlash.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy James Bray, and today we're going to be asking the important question, why aren't Germans patriotic? And I know you guys are capable of being patriotic because I have been to Germany at least 5 times in the last year and a half. And any sporting event I went to, you would see copious amounts of German flags. But anywhere else, you wouldn't see German flags. Unless, of course, it was outside of a Rathaus or a Friedensdom, something like that. But I may be the occasional individual that had a German flag hanging outside of their house, which, of course, everyone else would think that they're weird or maybe very, very right-leaning. Aside of those things, there is virtually no patriotism. And I wonder why. Because now there is a super surge in content related to people flocking to Germany in droves. That's the new promised land. So much so that there's a political discourse over it in Germany. They're like, hold up, I know you'll like our country, but God, relax. We're having problems of our own right now. So that should show you Germany is very appreciated by the rest of the world. And of course, we all wonder, damn, why isn't the average German even partially patriotic? I stumbled across this thread on Reddit and there are a lot of answers, 54,000 likes, because a lot of people were very passionate about this topic. And I would like you guys to go ahead and drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know what your thoughts and feelings are in the comments down below. So without further ado, Los Kids. Here's the initial question. Why aren't Germans patriotic? Germans are patriotic. In America, you show patriotism by attaching a full-size US flag to your pickup truck, or singing the anthem before every baseball game, and sending 18-year-olds to Iraq so you can later thank them for their service when they roll by you in their wheelchair in Walmart. Damn. Not him roasting America. Relax, bro. In Germany, we show patriotism by voting for higher taxes on ourselves to make healthcare and college tuition universally accessible to our less fortunate fellow citizens, and by picking up after one another to keep public spaces clean and nice for everyone. I guess it gets lost in translation. Oof. I'm not gonna lie, he's cooking with this answer. That's a very valid answer. Wow. Night Gamer, he's from Germany. He says higher taxes, nah, lower this shit. Public places clean don't work in Germany. All right, well, right now the chat's calling it out. It's bullshit. Clean places in Germany is diabolical. Okay, so let's talk about this top response. And before we get into that, what do you guys think about that statement? Let me know. This top comment says, as a naturalized citizen of the United States, I've had the phrase, if you don't like it here, then leave, thrown at me a few times when talking about the things like the lack of universal health care or lack of employee rights. I never understood why accepting the status quo of a country made you patriotic. Isn't it more patriotic to stay in a flawed country and work to make that country a better place? I believe patriotism, defined as the unconditional love of your country, is definitely a flawed trait to have, but patriotism is defined as the desire to make the place you live better, is definitely a trait to admire. Of course, some people's idea of making it a place better is getting rid of all the colored folk. Damn, those people's problem isn't their patriotism, but instead their stupidity. Well, oh my gosh, that's insane. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. Patriotism, basically the art of appreciating where you come from and wanting to make where you come from even better, right? America, of course, you see us, our version of patriotism is being proud to display your country everywhere you go. If someone asks you where you're from, I'm from motherfucking America, man. I got an American flag, I got an American accent, I got an American everything. So that's America's definition of that. The definition that this gentleman provided here is beautiful, because I do think in that regard, Germans probably are patriotic when it comes to stuff like that, right? There is an active effort on a lot of people to try to make their place better, even though it seems like the government's fighting against them on that front, because I have seen the politics in Germany kind of go belly up, you know what I mean? And people are not rocking with that. But in general, it does seem like the people in Germany are trying viciously to make their circumstances as good as they possibly can. In the chat right here, we have a comment that was said like, okay, imagine the gas station bathrooms have fecal matter all over the walls and they're just disgusting, whatever. And that's in reference to the fact that in most gas stations in Germany, you have to pay to get inside of the bathroom. And 9 times out of 10, those are some of the cleanest bathrooms you'll ever find. Yeah, they might be a smidgen dirty, but not nearly as filthy and grimy as the bathrooms in the United States. What this individual in the chat right now just described is what I have literally seen. So when I went to Germany, I was filling up one of the campers, right? We had to return the camper to Hamburg, and we were filling up the gas tanks and stuff like that. And I have to pee, bro. I had been holding my pee for 3 hours. And I asked the cashier, I'm like, hey, hast du ein Toilette oder was? Ich muss pissen. And the clerk was like, oh, actually, we do. It's around the corner and stuff in the building. Like, you know, you just have to keep walking. Just make sure you have some geld, you know what I'm saying, like to go over there and pay. And I went in there, right? And it looks like an airport kiosk. I can't make this up. So I go through the turnstile and then I go inside there and the toilets are clean. The stalls were clean. There was nothing in the toilets. It didn't look like a murder scene everywhere. I was thoroughly impressed. And then I got angry because I'm like, why can't we have this in America? I didn't understand at first why you had to pay to use the bathroom in Germany until I stepped through those turnstiles. I was thoroughly impressed. The bathrooms are clean and it has a direct thing to do with people's pride and taking care of the area around them. Here's another thing that I like when it comes to this patriotism talk, because this will always blow my mind. You guys are actually selfless. Like, you might be introverted, but you're selfless. You care about other people. The fact that you guys take your plastic water bottles and glass water bottles that have the fond symbol on them and you set them outside because you know that there are less fortunate people out there that will be looking for these. Bro, it brings me to tears every time. You'll see a bunch of bottles outside a building or outside of a garbage can area, and then immediately you'll see people who need them pick them up and then go turn them into fun. And I'm like, bro, I wish there was an awareness like that in America, because there really isn't. Everybody's living in their own bubble. Nobody cares about the next person. Now, I talk a lot of shit about America. I do like some things about it, obviously, but I do think that we are regressing in some ways. I'm slowly realizing we all need each other, and we don't realize that until it's too late. But I think Germany has an idea of that already. Moving on to the next comment. This is difference between patriotism and nationalism, as defined by George Orwell. Patriotism is defensive devotion to a particular place and a particular way of life. A nationalist is one who thinks solely or mainly in terms of competitive prestige. This is a really good comment right here, man. Maybe that's what America has. Okay, chat, seriously, do you think America is more of a nationalistic idea of displaying our quote-unquote patriotism based on this definition? This right here, I do think it is 50-50. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Let's move on to the next statement here. It says, can't speak for other people, but I myself never really understood patriotism. Why would I be proud of being born in an arbitrary defined area of some square miles? Or why should I be proud of the accomplishment by other random German citizens or my ancestors? Some of them did good things, others did bad things. I'm very aware of that, and I think it's good to preserve this awareness and remembrance, but I don't have a very personal feeling about it. I can only be proud of what I accomplished myself, that's all. People feel like they have to belong to something somewhere, always have, always will. That is a very true statement. I think it's a human trait for people to want to belong to a group of something. I know that it's not just America that displays its patriotism. There's plenty of other countries that are very proud to be from where they're from. Copious amounts of different individuals from other countries have similar questions when it comes to Germany. Why doesn't Germany have the same outward patriotism that other countries have, you know? But this is actually pretty cool. I mean, this individual is cooking with the idea that, hey, I can only be proud of the stuff I accomplished for myself, and that makes sense. So, number one, right here for this answer, it says a lot of Germans are patriotic. And number two, because there has been around 70 years of fallout regarding the atrocities associated with the German involvement in World War II, atrocities so egregious that they have shamed many ethically driven Germans to avoid any semblance of the kind of nationalism which many would interpret at a very vocal patriot to be advocating that led to the rise of the Third Reich. Note, it's like why people are so attentive to race issues in the US. A big war was fought, lots of people died, and the sting of that tragedy was and is so present in the ethics of the culture that most people are on a constant high alert when it comes to being as politically correct as possible as to avoid any reoccurrence of that tragedy. That was a good example. That was a phenomenal example. That makes sense. So in Germany, it's not so much a color issue. I'm not saying that there's no issue at all, but I know a lot of people in Germany, when they go to America, they're like, bro, y'all be talking about race like it's a fucking pillar, okay? Why? Why are you obsessed with the color of someone's skin in America? And it's like, oh, because there was literally a war fought over that shit. There was a whole hierarchical power dynamic for a while. So I never thought to see it that way, but that's a pretty solid comparison. That's fucking crazy. You'll see a Nazi flag in the same place you'll see Confederate flags 9 times out of 10. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? This comment right here addresses patriotism in itself has one major problem for the future. It requires you to feel superior. That's nationalism, sir. But in this time where global crisis, crime, and corruption plague the world, no one should look after their own country, but after the world. A patriotic American will gladly make big arms deals with Saudi Arabia, buy cheap oil, burn it, use sweatshop work, and sell cheaply. If we want to sustain this earth, we need to look at the global consequences of our actions and change our behavior to be more responsible. I think, in my opinion, are more people who don't care about the planet than do, because we also have so many issues that are impacted by what our society is doing in our respective countries. Germany, y'all got issues, bro. Like, y'all have issues. I got to see that when I traveled over there. I kept quiet about it, but I could clearly see that there were some problems out there, man. And for as much as I've been vocal about America's problems, y'all got problems too. And you guys are going through some shit, and America's going through its own shit, and the next country's going through its own shit. And everybody's frustrated, so it's hard to care about the globe when the local area you're living in is making it hard to navigate, if that makes sense. We got some other stuff here too. Whoa, this is long, bro. I'm gonna just read this top part right here. The idea of that all Americans show their patriotism in the manner of image suggests that no Germans partake in the European redneck life, so to speak, is quite irritating. Damn, what the heck? As an American, I love my country for the positive things in its history, but also acknowledge the terrible things that have been done in its name. The fact that we as a people feel shame and remorse for those terrible things is one of the things that really makes me love my country. As a nation, America slowly but unceasingly makes steps to live up to the ideals of our founder, namely, but not only. Hundreds of millions of Americans wake up every day to try to live up to those ideals, showing their patriotism in how they act, the way they treat their fellow people of all races and religions, and what they do for and in their community, and so much more. And yes, sometimes we fly flags over our homes and stick decals in our cars. I fly a flag during the summer myself, but I don't go around talking shit about other countries and beating my chest about how American I am. What nonsense. And yes, we can get over the top about in our media and public celebrations, but it's mostly in the interest of putting on and enjoying a good show. If there's a fighter jet flyby at a professional sports event, the thinking behind it is not let's display our might to cow our citizens and ensure right thinking, but instead the event manager saying, you know what would be really cool? Oh, so I guess that is a huge misinterpretation from the world, because we are very patriotic in America, but I do feel like we do it, you know, we're tying that into capitalism. You know, we want to have a good time, we want to make some money, and then, you know, put on a good show. This is a pretty accurate depiction of how it's being displayed. Once again, I've spent too much time on a Reddit reply, but please, my German friends, give a little bit more thought to what America is than what Jens has. Please come visit us too. We would love to have you stop by. That will make it easier to look past the stereotype and our unfortunate president who won't make it past one term, and see the vast, amazingly diverse good of people that make up America, who come from all over the world and comprise every race, creed, and believe that we truly long for peace, and that the governments of all people and by the people and for the people will flourish across the earth. Wow, 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 wow. All to say, one thing I do like about America, on top of all the stuff I've said that I dislike about it, of course, is that we do have a multitude of different races living in one country. Our country's massive, so you will encounter different demographics of people, and you will learn from those different demographics and whatnot. I think it's really cool because it ultimately gives you a leg up on the rest of the world when you are forced to think differently, just because by proximity you're around copious amounts of people with different backgrounds. Very charged topic, very heated. It can get very heated very quickly. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. It's been an honor and a privilege talking to you guys. Catch me live on twitch.tv/JamesBrayGang. Link is in the description down below. And tell me why isn't Germany that patriotic? Why do you think it should be more patriotic, or why do you not think it should be patriotic? Why do you think the world should or should not be patriotic about respective countries, whatever? Let me know.